Hello, welcome everybody. Hopefully this is all functioning and working.
As it's
working,
supposed to.
I said.
Yeah.
Hopefully we are on the same audio level and the same volume and the same pitch and everything. But as you can see, we are officially back in studio, in a very different studio. We are in TJ's home.
Yep.
Something we've been working on for a long time. I would say mostly in the last hour and a half. But we got a lot of it done. And let us know. There might be some audio issues, some visual issues or anything like that. Just let us know. Let us know if you can hear too much of something or not enough of someone. Yeah, we're just gonna kind of go for it. We've been doing a lot of prep for this. I don't know where I don't know where to look because my camera is normally directly in front of me, but you guys are over there. So we have some stuff to talk about. It's been 2 weeks since we've been with you guys, so thank you guys so much for joining us again tonight. But yeah, welcome.
Yeah. No, I know it's been a long time. Like we said, I would like to nail down when the last time we actually did a show in person, because we were talking about it earlier.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Oh, it's been since you moved in here," and it's been a year since we moved in to this house, and
So it's been
that is definitely not true. So I think it was probably right before we moved out, I want to say. I'd have to imagine.
Probably.
And I'm guessing the reason I stopped going to your house was because we were moving out. And the whole idea was, oh, we'll have this room, we'll set it up, and then we'll do it from here.
Yeah.
A year later, we finally got there.
Absolutely.
Hopefully the image quality also is a tad bit better. We were using Sean's phone instead of one of our Logitech cameras that we usually use. And hopefully, it looks like a slightly bit better. You know, any improvement is an improvement.
If it completely cuts out and dies on us,
yeah, that's
it'll
why.
be a little bit of a short show.
Yeah.
But hopefully all goes well, and hopefully it'll stay alive and everything like that. But yeah. So let us know if you guys have anything that you guys want to talk about. Man, I really was not counting on the fact that the camera is over there.
Yeah.
I keep looking directly ahead of me, which is not where the camera is. But I'll get used to it. Let us know whatever you guys want to talk about. We're going to be talking about a whole bunch of stuff. Like I said, since we were working on all of this, we didn't really hammer out a definitive, outline style show notes or anything like that for today, but there has been a lot of stuff going on. So send in the chat here anything you want to talk about, whether it's the strike, WGA, SAG strike, Blue Beetle. We got some Blue Beetle initial reactions that we're going to be talking a little bit about. I don't know if is the Rotten Tomatoes up for it?
I don't think so. I think it was just there were some early reactions.
Embargoes.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about some of that. We're going to be obviously talking about what we've been watching in this break. And yeah, we're going to be going from there. But first of all, what have you been watching?
Well, in the 2-week break that we've taken, I've watched a few things, not much TV, unfortunately. And we've also kind of had the break for TV. I feel like there's been that kind of break
Secret
on where
Invasion.
we're watching. Yeah, after Secret Invasion.
Let's
which
hit
we didn't
Secret
even
Invasion.
talk about.
Let's hit Secret Invasion for a couple minutes here. Like I said, we're just kind of freestyling here. I feel like people thought that this was going to be the MCU's Andor here, with not quite.
No, and just overall on the show, I think we'll both say our piece. But for me, it ended up just being very disappointing. It started off really strong too. I thought probably the first episode was probably the best episode.
Yeah. 59 minutes.
59 minutes, and then they set that, like you've said before, they set that precedent, and then they don't carry on with those lengths of the episodes. But yeah, I just felt like it was kind of going in all these different directions and trying to do all these different things, and it never really all came together. It was one big kind of CGI fest at one point with the Emilia Clarke fight towards the end. They also made a very, very strong character that people are saying is she stronger than Captain Marvel now at this point? So what are they going to do with her? Obviously, with Captain Marvel, we know in Endgame she's off-world, because everybody was like, well, now what's she going to do when Thanos shows up? It's well, Captain Marvel's too strong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now, like, Emilia Clarke's character is people are thinking, like, she's even stronger. So it's like, are you just going to do the same thing? Are you going to, like, nerf her in some way, shape, or form? So that'd be interesting to see. I thought, the best part of the show was just the actors. They all did amazing jobs, but I just felt
Olivia Colman.
Yeah, especially Olivia Colman. She was probably the best part of the show.
I don't know why she was in it, but she was
right,
great.
Exactly. I don't know why she was in it either. But the only thing was, like, they didn't get enough to work with, in my opinion. I just thought, like, the writing was very lacking. And we still not really clear on the whole Rhodey timeline thing. Yeah. I think it is. I do agree with a lot of people where it's like, if it happened like in, I think, Civil War, what people are saying, it's like those moments in like Endgame and movies after that takes away like all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, why would you want to get rid of all that? But then, people are saying, oh no, it happened after this point, like after Endgame or whatever. So
yeah. I
don't know. But overall, really kind of disappointing, unfortunately. Hopefully, Loki season 2 is really good. And, I've always been that person since Endgame, being like the person that's like, Feige, Marvel, they've done a lot of good. They've built up that goodwill for me. But I think, after, if we don't start getting some wins, I think I might have to, I might have to turn the page and be like, I might be more pessimistic going forward.
Yeah, I think for me, I remember on this show back when it was coming out, which was years ago at this point. I remember the end of Loki season 2 was the first time that I was like, or no, not the end of Loki season 2. I'm sorry, or season 2 is not even out yet. The end of Loki and then into like Multiverse of Madness and all that stuff was when I remember being like, I've always been kind of like what you just said. I've always been, the plan. It's part of the. You gotta let the plan play out, man.
Yeah.
And then I remember after Multiverse of Madness being like, it was the first time that I had ever doubted the plan. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that doubting of the plan has really just, what do I want to say? I feel like that doubting of the plan has just started to like erode, like the trust there. And I don't mean to sound like melodramatic or over the top about like what's going on with it, but it's just like there was that trust of, knowing that stuff had been thought out, that stuff was going in the direction that they wanted it to.
Right. It
just feels like kind of some of the wheels are falling. Not necessarily that like the wheel has fallen off like the cart. It's more like one of the wheels has a nail in it on the 18-wheeler that is the MCU. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so I'm not ready to be like, oh, the wheels are falling off, and we're about to crash and everything. But it's just been kind of going in that direction. And really, if that was the first time that I started to doubt the plan, this is the first time that I went, what is the plan? Is there a plan? Because this show to me was just like, we have the Marvels coming up. Fury, he's been in post Endgame. He was in Far From Home. And again, Far From Home, then also built on Talos and his wife and everything. Mm-hmm. Then in the beginning of the show, we find out that his wife is dead off screen. They killed his wife, which was very weird. And then, full spoilers again for Secret Invasion, we'll say. But just like some of the things that I guess not full spoiler. I'll stay away from fully spoiling things, but just some of the characters that do meet their end in this show. Yeah. I'm just left being like, why? You know what I mean? Like, either that was a fan favorite character, so what was the point of doing that? Or like that was a fan favorite character, so it's like I get wanting to kill them, but like the way that you did it was completely like anticlimactic and at worst confusing. Like for some of the people. And then also there's the whole thing of like, somebody dies in the very first episode and you have the kind of that looming over the whole rest of the show of like, are they really dead? Are they going to come back? Is it part of the plan? And the show just never does anything as interesting as the fans, I think, were hoping. So yeah, I mean, that's not, you can go find my thoughts on the finale and stuff on the channel, but like, just overall, just my like feelings on the show are just very like muddled because I feel like the show was very muddled. But yeah, I mean, I just hope whether we get Armor Wars next or, you know, obviously we're getting the Marvels next, but, you know, whether picking up from these storylines is Armor Wars or whatever it is, I'll be interested to see what they do with it, because the specific ending of the show of kind of the mass chaos that is like unleashed, which obviously would have made for a more interesting show to follow that. It's kind of like they went, all right, now this kind of mediocre, you know, medium stakes show is wrapped up, but we really want to push its impact on the MCU, so here's a 5-minute montage of how it's affecting the rest of the world. And it's like, you can't just give me a mediocre plot and then at the last 5 minutes be like, but then the whole world found out about it, so everybody's crazy now.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, you have to show me that paranoia and build up to it. I don't think they did that, and I really just think it was not a very well-made show. I don't know, which is crazy, because, you know, people were hyping it up like it could be potentially like the MCU's like Andor of, you know, a higher budget, higher caliber, you know, kind of higher pedigree show, and it just wasn't that.
Yeah.
Very disappointing.
Yeah, and just to go off that too, and not talking about Secret Invasion, you know, we have all these other projects, like you said, the Marvels and Loki season 2, but then we have stuff like, and again, it's kind of affected by the strikes, but again, of course, strikers, you know, writers, actors, everybody, we all want them to get their due.
Yeah.
But, you know, people have brought up something like Blade, where it's like, you know, at some point, is Mahershala Ali just kind of aging out?
Yeah.
Of which I didn't even know that he was like, he's 49.
Yeah.
I thought he was like young 40s or something like that. So, you know, do you take a look and try to pivot, and then obviously you have the whole Jonathan Majors thing, and do you try to change around what the whole plan is? So that'll be interesting to see. Before we go more into what we've been watching, have you watched High School Musical, the series?
I have not watched this most recent season. I know that they switched it to, they just dumped it all at once, correct?
I believe, yes, they did, yep.
So I saw, like, the very end scene, and I don't know, I don't know if it's just because Olivia Rodrigo left the show, so I'm just not as, like, interested in it, which is weird because I watched it before I even knew who she was, so, like, it's not like she was the drawing force to the show or anything, but, I don't know. I just feel like I like kind of ran out of steam with that show, especially with, you know, they're like, I'll be honest. There was one night where I saw a tweet about it that like literally left me scratching my head, being like, "Wait, what?" It said, the tweet said, the finale of High School Musical, the series, has confirmed that Troy and Gabriella are in couples counseling.
Tweet,
and then my brain went, wait a minute. Is this show set in our world where the movies exist, or in their world where the characters exist?
Yeah.
And I watched 2 seasons of the show, and I couldn't tell you the answer.
Yeah. Danielle said this is the second best season after the first.
Okay, Danielle, can you like fill me in, because I literally feel like my brain was bleeding when it said that, because I literally went, wasn't it that it was the movies exist, not the characters exist? So how do they confirm that Troy and Gabriella are in couples counseling if they're fictional characters? I was very confused on that. So if you can clear that up, that would be great. I don't know. Maybe it's I do know. Actually, thinking about it logically, I do know that season 4 was, they were like making a fake 4th one, like a fake 4th High School Musical, I believe is what it was. So maybe like in the fake 4th movie, that's what they were talking about. Maybe. I don't know.
Okay. So
no Ashley Tisdale?
Not that I know of. I don't think so.
Crazy.
So going on.
Gotcha.
Now what I've been watching.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like really talk about these all in that much depth. Zoe 102. Did you watch Zoe 102?
I didn't. Hit me with it. How was it?
It was not good.
Man. No iCarly?
No iCarly, no.
Okay.
We are caught up now, by the way.
Oh, you are caught up.
Yes.
Oh, well, okay. I don't give a shit about Zoe 102. What is your thoughts on the mother possibly coming in, and then obviously the elephant in the room, Creddy official?
Finally,
yeah.
I'm all on board with that. The whole them getting married thing is a bit much for me.
Yeah.
Wish they would
a little fast.
A little fast. Yeah. I mean, I get it, I guess.
Oh, it's bloody been 15 years.
Yeah.
Come on.
I get it. I thought that was an interesting cliffhanger.
Yeah.
About the whole mom and what is
who's going to be the star cast?
I hope it better be like some
like a
decently
big person.
sized actress.
I think it would be.
Like decently sized.
I mean,
star.
you figure even in the first show, they built up to Sam's mom for seasons, and then it was Jane Lynch, who was huge at the time with Glee. So they got like a big actress for Sam's mom. So it probably will be somebody big. I don't know who it would be.
I thought it was definitely better in the second season because I remember telling you. Danielle and I were definitely struggling to get through the second season. Yeah, the third is
easily better than the second season. For sure.
But yeah, I thought I had a great time with it so far. I'm definitely looking forward to the reveal of season 4 whenever we get it. Yeah. Granted, are there still episodes where it's like, I don't, can we just move on, please? Mm-hmm. Yes, but I feel like getting through those, I still thought it was a pretty good season.
End game of the show. Do Spencer and Harper get together?
I don't know. I don't know because they've set her up as being. Is she? I don't know if she's gay or bi.
I think she's bi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because her and Spencer definitely hit on each other.
Yeah,
I think it's like a good more. More so like Spencer on her.
Yeah,
but more. It's less so Spencer hitting on her and more just like. If you marry me, I will give you everything you want.
I still think it'd be really funny if they did some meta Crazy Steve type.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Because they have Josh Peck in.
Right, they do.
Yeah, he's in it.
Yeah.
Come on. If Paramount Plus can get a Oppenheimer star such as Josh Peck to be in iCarly. I mean, sky's the limit for whoever the mom's.
Danielle said, "Get rid of Millicent." Yeah, Danielle, not a big Millicent.
Oh, really?
Fan.
See, I go back and forth with Millicent.
I'd say I probably agree with her on the whole kind of daughter thing, where she's always like, "Well, it's not your daughter," because
it's that thing that shows do sometimes, where it's it's his step adopted daughter, so now it is his daughter. Don't worry about it. It's one of those things. Yeah. But yeah, it's I don't even think that Freddie is old enough to have a daughter that's 13 or 14 or whatever she's supposed to be. But yeah, Zoe 102.
Zoe 102, not good.
Yeah.
Not really surprised. I wish,
Not a Jamie Lynn fan?
No, it's not that. It just wasn't very good. It just wasn't good.
Yeah.
It's not even a big thing, but the car that they drive in this movie, they drive a few times, but it's self-driving. So
is it the pair car?
There's no, it's not. Okay. No. But there's a few there is a new tech mate though.
Oh,
there is a new tech mate. Actually, Quinn, I believe, was the inventor of the new tech mate.
Wow.
But
good for her.
There's a few scenes in the car when they're talking to each other, but it's weird because they're just sitting there talking to each other. I'm but put your hands on the steering wheel.
Yeah,
it's a car. Just drop. Why is it? And there is a plot point for why it's self-driving that they use, but I don't know. It was weird to me.
No spoilers.
First Man. I was in a Gosling mood.
Oh, okay.
After Barbie. First Man, good movie. Not. I felt like the rap that I had always heard about this movie was that it was boring. I was not bored. I had a good time with it. It was
Claire Foy just looking sad all the time.
Yeah, she was sad.
Yeah.
I didn't.
My husband's a moon man. That's bad.
But yeah, Gosling was great in it. Jason Clarke was awesome. Claire Foy, obviously.
Jason Clarke, MVP.
Yeah, he's doing a lot.
So good.
Yeah. Then I rewatched The Big Short again, which I've been wanting to rewatch.
Classic.
Great
also
movie
Ryan
again.
Gosling.
Also
Incredible.
Ryan Gosling. Then I watched Jodorowsky's Dune, the documentary. Which I've
actually been getting a little into Dune.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I started I started listening to the audiobook again. Yeah. I was down a 3 a.m. rabbit hole on the wiki. I was just scrolling. You've read the book, right? You've read the first one and Messiah?
No, just
the first one?
Yeah.
So I had started the audiobook a couple months ago, and then I just paused it because I was like, I want to watch the first movie. Yeah. But at this
you were also probably like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, and also though, at this rate, and I know we talked about it when the first one came out, at this point, if I start the audiobook now, I won't even be to the point where the movie ends. By the time I see the second one, so if I start it now, I'll be fine because it's even as an audiobook, which goes faster, you know, it's still a like 31-hour audiobook, I think. So, but yeah, then I was going down the complete timeline on the fandom wiki page, and it started in like 1960 with First Man. It literally said the first entry in the Dune wiki is, it says like 1960 Gus Grissom, humans first space travel. Or something like, it's literally like in there, and it has like when the Russians sent the dog to space and stuff. So because it's part of our own history or our own future or whatever. And I didn't realize how much like actual like Earth religion plays a part of like the book, because in the movie they don't talk about like Earth religion like almost at all. But then my friend was like, yeah, that's like a huge part of it, because there's like all this stuff about like first Muhammad and second Muhammad and like all that, and I'm just like, I was just like going down.
It is a lot.
Yeah, I was just going into this like rabbit hole that obviously I'll learn more about in the books and stuff. But yeah, that's just, it's the season. It's the season of Dune. If it comes out.
If it comes out this year,
if it
which
sticks,
is very up in the air. Good documentary.
How long is it?
It's about an hour and a half.
Okay.
I was a little tired watching it, but I was also watching it late at night. But yeah, definitely. He definitely had a very wide vision for what he wanted Dune to be.
Yeah.
His movie, and then obviously, what would have been his Dune became David Lynch's Dune, and he was not a fan of David Lynch's Dune. I will say that.
Do they get into that in the documentary?
Very kind of little.
Like just
at
right
the
end.
Yeah. JFK sequel to Oppenheimer.
Yes.
Good movie. Thought it was about his life. Didn't realize it was about the assassination of JFK.
Not even that, but like a specific thing about the assassination of JFK. Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but this movie, I said,
it's got you.
They got. You
get the Seinfeld reference now.
What's the reference?
The spit.
Spit
goes off of Newman's shoulder onto that was literally just straight from JFK.
Yes. So it was good. It was just the pacing was a little off. It is 3 hours. It feels like 3 hours.
I will say straight up, the pacing is much worse in JFK than it is in Oppenheimer.
Oh yeah.
Like Oppenheimer feels like 2 hours compared to JFK.
Yeah. And the other thing is just the big dumps of exposition that they give you at certain points, where it's like, this is a lot. And a lot of the time they're talking about somebody that I was like, who are they talking about? I did actually have that when I watched Oppenheimer again the other day.
Zapruder?
I had that, like, they do it with one character where I think it's the spy, that they show like who it is and they say the name. But like when he's talking to Casey Affleck, I'm like I was on IMDb like, who is he? Who is he talking about again? So I wish more movies would do that, where they go back and be like, oh yeah, this guy, remember his name, this is that guy.
Or even like, what was them? Oh, Irishman. It was the Irishman where they literally, he just puts on their name and then the day they died. It's just like that was, I love that. Yeah, more movies should just, more big info dumpy movies like that, like Big Short and stuff. Just like, you know, people out there, like, we love these types of movies, but like there's like mass audiences out there, and it's like, just throw some name cards up. Like nobody cares. Like, film could be whatever you want, and like if Martin Scorsese's throwing name cards up to keep up with all these mobsters that you're meeting with Billy Buffalino and stuff, like, you know, you gotta like do something to help somebody out, you know what I mean? But I don't even know if Oliver Stone's gonna make another movie. The last movie he made was Snowden.
He just made a documentary.
Yeah, he does a bunch of documentaries. He's got like 3 like 9/11 documentaries.
Yeah, he just did one about like nuclear power or something.
Yeah,
I think. Remember the Titans? Watched that for the first time. Good movie. Rewatched Oppenheimer. Denzel.
Right. I always get that in like Friday Night Lights.
Rewatched Oppenheimer.
We are Marshall.
Great. Watched in IMAX. The bomb hit me on that one. Big boom. And then I did watch the documentary for the Central Park 5 from Ken Burns, which I never watched.
Okay.
Really good documentary. Made me want to watch the Netflix short miniseries.
Right. Yes.
Have you seen
that? What is that called? No, I have not.
It's is it now? Is it no? It's not Now You See Us. What is it called?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
What is it called?
It's called. I think it is called Now You See Us.
Oh, okay.
I think it is.
Yes,
I think that is what it's called.
But yeah, and then I do want to. I haven't done it yet because it's like a 9-part series. But I want to watch his Civil War
Ken Burns.
Yeah. Because that was the Cinephiles episode.
I was just gonna say Ken Knapsack on because right now Force Center, Joseph Scrimshaw and Ken Knapsack's Star Wars podcast, which check it out, it's great. Right now because they're super wrapped up in SAG. They're not talking any Star Wars.
Right.
So they changed it over to Other Center. So they're just talking about literally anything.
Okay.
And Ken has been just going crazy with Ken Burns' Vietnam documentaries.
Yeah.
So he watched through the whole series and now he's reading the audiobook version of it because it also has inserts and forewords by I almost say geniuses, experts on Vietnam and stuff.
Right.
So
yeah,
I've
actually,
been getting
my
into
watch
a Ken
list,
Burns,
the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I've been still trying to read Heat 2. I'm on page 200 or whatever. But I already have a list. I want to read Heat 2, and then I bought the last Thrawn book. Not the newer ones, the kind of the older ones, I guess. Thrawn, what is it? Ascendancy? No.
Oh, I know what you're saying. Not the Ascendancy trilogy. Yeah. You bought Thrawn Treason. That's
and
what you bought, right?
The one with Palpatine on the cover.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
Great book.
I want to read the American Prometheus, the one that
that's a long
Chris
read.
Nolan got. It's 700 some pages. Yeah. But I really, the movie made me really want to read the book. So I'm going to do that. Of course, I was, last time we went live 2 weeks ago, I was all about the library. 40 copies, I think, of the book it has, or 30. 110 holds at this moment. So not anytime soon. I'm not going to be getting.
Can you go to other libraries?
That's in
the whole network.
Buffalo.
That's the whole network.
Public. Yeah. So
what is that? I used to know it.
I don't know it off the top of my head.
Buffalo and Erie. BEPL.
Yeah. But that's where I'm getting all these movies right now. I think what do I have checked out? I have I have Central Park 5, which I watched. I have Woman King.
Very good.
Dark Waters.
You never seen that?
No, I haven't
Dark
seen
Waters.
that one.
Throw out your Teflon, people.
Yeah, Dark
Throw
Waters. And I forget the other one. I forget. But yes, those are my 4 movies that I have to, or my 3 movies that I have to watch right now.
Nice.
But yeah, that's it for me.
Any other TV besides iCarly?
Let me check real quick. I don't think so. Other than Winning Time, that we talked about earlier. Yeah. First episode was really good.
How many are out?
I think the second one just came out the other day. And then I still have not finished Succession. I just haven't gone back to. I don't know why. It's good. Again, I love the show. It's just I just got caught up in other things.
I'll let you know. About 5 minutes ago,
I
almost just offhandedly made a reference to the finale.
Oh, it's a good thing.
Yeah. All right. So it's been 2 weeks. So everything from the first. So I believe last time did I talk about Top Gun Maverick last time?
No, but I'm gonna kill this spider real quick. So you talk about Top Gun.
Go for it. Oh,
it fell.
There you go. All right. Top Gun Maverick, rewatched that. Fantastic. Let's see. Yeah, so basically, right now, I've been trying to. Work has just been with Barbenheimer and everything. Work has just been my shifts have gone from 9 to 5 or 9:30 to 5:30 to if I'm opening it's an 8 to 5 or an 8 to 5:30. It's just been kind of that kind of mood. So, and those hours rack up, believe me. So I have been, that's why, and really there hasn't been a lot of trailers to react to since the Loki one, and but we're getting back into the swing of things. But I do have a vacation coming up soon, so I've just been trying to clear my head. I've got a season pass to our local Six Flags, Darien Lake. So I've been going there a lot and everything like that. So when I've not been, I've just been trying to watch as many either comfort movies or just movies that I want to watch. I'm not in a mood right now to challenge myself to I need to revisit these 6 on the Criterion Collection or something. So I watched Top Gun Maverick 2 weeks ago. Fantastic, really holds up at home still. It's incredible. The action and the cinematography on the planes and stuff is great. Then I watched Freaky Friday.
Okay, yeah.
Very, very good. Jamie Lee Curtis is like really, really funny in that movie. Very, very good. I really hope that once the strike and everything is settled, I hope that they are doing the sequel.
Oh, sorry, real quick. Cool. My fourth library movie, as Daniel said, Memento. Haven't seen that.
Oh, okay. Well, yes, we might be talking about something similar to that in just a few moments here. Then on a little bit of a Tom Cruise kick, watched Edge of Tomorrow for the first time probably in a couple years.
Yeah.
And then definitely only like my third time since it came out. Amazing. Emily Blunt, like, why is she not in every action movie? I don't understand. But then the second rolled around, and on the second, Disney Plus added Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which I watched and cried and was very emotional.
Yep.
That movie is very, very good. Meg 2, The Trench.
Oh, my God.
Meg 2, The Trench. Not the Meg 2, The Trench. Too many
it's just Meg?
Yeah, they cut the from the first movie. One of the most incoherent, absolute just like slop fest.
So did they think like, now what you're saying, people like the first one. I don't think anybody
thought.
I would say nobody. They didn't try to copy paste again. They didn't try to go, oh, the first one worked. Let's do another one.
Well, they did copy and paste.
Okay.
Did you ever see the 2020 movie Underwater with Kristen Stewart?
No, I didn't. Yeah.
That's basically of this unfortunately 2-hour movie, like an hour and 15 minutes is literally just the plot of Underwater.
Oh, okay.
But done absolutely worse and just terrible. I mean, like, people would die and you'd be like, who was that person? Like, people are crying and I'm like, what? And then a minute later, a character would show up and it was the person I thought just died.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, wait, what? Like, there's like 4 like just brunette American women that like you're supposed to know that they're individual characters, but the movie does not let you in on that little secret. Just really, really bad. And then all the trailers and everything, you see that like the Megs are like attacking this like what do you call it, like resort or whatever, like the poster with like the Meg and like the Chihuahua or whatever. So like you think at least, okay, the third act they're gonna go to this like beach resort and watch a bunch of like guilty rich people get eaten by a megalodon. None of it is even satisfying. Like even when like the villain of the movie gets like eaten and stuff, like none of it like is satisfying.
Yeah.
Like it was in a movie that I'll skip up a couple of days to, Avatar: The Way of Water. Holy fucking shit, that movie is so good. So
How's
good.
How's it look on a TV screen?
Beautiful. I watched it on Max. I don't know why. I don't have a preference over Disney Plus and Max, but we were just, me and my roommate Brianna we were scrolling through Max and there it was and we clicked it. And she had never seen it, obviously, and then I found out an hour in she had never seen the first one.
Oh, okay.
So we watched the first one next. So the last few days I've been Pandora City at my house, and I will say definitively in my estimation, I think not easily, I'm not putting down the first movie, but just Way of Water to me like hits on levels that like the first one like could only dream of. But that being said, the first one is like almost a perfect movie as well. Like the first Avatar is so good still. And man, as much as I love her as Kiri in Way of Water, having Sigourney Weaver on screen as Grace is just like her like presence as that character is like just something that really makes that movie. But they are both really, really good. And in terms of the look, both of them in the 4K look amazing. But like the 4K on Way of Water on Max in particular looks, and Disney Plus has great 4K rendering too. I just didn't watch it on there, so I can't say for sure, but on Max it looks incredible. I can't even imagine.
I think just talking about like 4K rendering, all that stuff with different services, I'm becoming a physical media truther, I think. And that's only, it might just be because of my TV.
Yeah.
Where the QLED just, it does not, and again, it might just be the streaming services. I don't know which one it is.
Yeah.
But I'll get like kind of that fragmenting type, kind of pixely.
Yeah,
especially in the black bars.
Yeah.
I get it a lot. Only on the QLED though. And not OLED. I couldn't, again, at the time, OLEDs were like fucking, for the size we needed for the living room. Yeah, it was like $3,000. It was a lot of money. Yeah. So I was like, I can't get that, so I got a QLED. But with like, if I pop a disc into my PlayStation, no problem. Yeah. Looks great. So I think I'm becoming.
You know what I would get, and this is on Avatar, on both of them, both times I watched it, because it's like 7 hours total. So there's a lot of room for your TV to fuck up in that time.
Right.
I didn't get any artifacting, but what I got was like sound artifacting, like where it would like pop for a second, then it would be silent just for like a second. But like that would happen like a lot throughout it. And like that just doesn't happen.
That's why I love like I'll watch like Winning Time looks great because there's no black parts. Yeah, it's all TV. Bright and it fills all TV, everything.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Is there is no black bars on Avatar.
Oh, okay.
I was like, like enough, the fact it just fills the entire screen from start to finish. And as much as I love like the Marvel movies, again, I think the 4K IMAX enhanced edition of some of those Marvel movies look like some of the best stuff that you can stream out there is like Age of Ultron looks like fantastic on Disney Plus. But again, it's got the black bars that's bouncing up and down and stuff like that, and so because it's doing that, you get like
I get a lot of bleed,
stuttering and stuff
like, too.
Yeah,
sometimes. Yeah.
I think that's fair. But yeah, then I watched. So before Avatar, I watched Following. Christopher Nolan's first movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Before Memento. Really, really good. It's on Tubi right now, totally free. It's only I
think it's an hour and a half.
80. No, it's like 81 minutes or something. Okay. Yeah. It was like really short, but really, really good. I told my friend Dorian, I was like, I felt like having watched Oppenheimer, and then again, just skipping forward. The other day, I rewatched The Prestige. It's one of my favorite movies ever. I still think, I don't know if it's Nolan's best. It's definitely not Nolan's best movie, but it still might be my favorite. I have to rewatch Oppenheimer. Obviously, I do think Oppenheimer is his best made movie. But like, I felt like I could like see the threads, the physical threads, like connecting his filmography together, watching Following, and then The Prestige, and then thinking back to Oppenheimer, of just like all three of those movies are at like completely different stages of his career, but like they all follow the same thing of like these two like men, in all cases it was two men, but like these two people like both diametrically opposed to each other, but like also like in this like toxic relationship of like almost like faux friendship, but like really like competition, like Strauss and Oppenheimer, Angier and Borden in The Prestige, and then the two main characters in Following also is very much like he starts off as this mentor figure, then the new guy that we're following kind of puffs his chest up a little bit too big, gets knocked down a few pegs, then the mentor starts to become jealous of his success, and like that like kind of theme of like competition is like so prevalent throughout his filmography, but specifically in those three movies. It was like a really, really interesting, like, even though I didn't watch all three of them back to back or anything, just having watched both of them within the past, or all of them within the past month, it really just like felt like I was like seeing connective threads in his filmography, which was great. A lot of what?
A lot of likes that you were saying.
Oh yeah, absolutely, likes, yeah. And then I rewatched Vice. Didn't hold up as much as I wanted it to.
Vice,
yeah, I thought it was a little bit weaker in parts than I remembered, and a little more just like, I don't know. I felt like I saw a little bit more of like the Don't Look Up Adam McKay.
Yeah.
And when I first saw it, I had such in my mind The Big Short Adam McKay.
Yeah.
And I feel like it is like Big Short, Vice, Don't Look Up. Like it is a, I feel like unfortunately those three films he has been having a clear step down in terms of a writer director. I think in terms of producer, obviously you get things like The Menu, you get like Winning Time, crazy stuff that Adam McKay is working on. I just think some of the movies.
It's so crazy. Just you bring up Vice again. I was not the biggest fan of it when I watched it. And it's just, I don't know what it is with his style that sometimes, like, again, with The Big Short, it really works for me.
Yeah.
But something with Vice where the chicken wing falling out of his mouth when he's eating.
Vice.
Yeah, that just didn't work. I'm like, it just looks goofy and unnecessary in that moment.
Yeah.
But again, like, I watched something like Winning Time that is very much
which is
his
funny because
style.
I think that Winning Time and Vice are probably the two most visually similar in his filmography, with like the obviously like forced like grain over it and stuff like that. But yeah, I thought even something like when George W. Bush is first introduced and they're at a party and Sam Rockwell, who is great in the role, he just like he literally like crashes into a waiter and like knocks his plate off, and he's like, and Cheney's like, who is that? He goes, oh, that's George Bush's son. You go, Jeb? No, that's George. And it's like, oh, okay. Last thing that I have watched, I really haven't been watching that. Oh, I have been watching a ton of TV. Star Wars Rebels. I finished it. Finished my rewatch. Yeah, I finished my rewatch. I have just been like, any free time that I've had to myself has just been with the Rebels crew. I will say I did skip a couple in season 2, a couple in season 3, and then none in season 4. Obviously, I mean, any Star Wars animated show, the last season is like, all of it is like essential viewing. But man, like, I know I texted you, like, just some of the stuff like Agent Callus, like what they do with him in that show, just his full arc over 4 seasons of defecting to the Rebels is like one of my favorite minor plots in that show. But then obviously like everything with Kanan and stuff too. But we'll have time to talk about Rebels and Ahsoka and everything. We'll probably do a lot more of that next week. But the last thing that I did watch that was new that I really want to talk about was a little movie called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem.
Oh yeah, everybody loves this movie.
This movie is fantastic. I mean, you hear
now. But real quick, are you a TMNT person? Are you a?
I would say I am not like a uber fan who has watched like everything that there is to watch in it.
Yeah.
But like, I just like love them. Mm-hmm. Like, I just love those 4 characters and all the extended people and everything too. But I just, whether it's the Michael Bay movies, whether it was TMNT 2007, which was like when we were kids, or then also like even seeing on like cable when I was a kid the 90s movies, I really liked them. But this, I was looking at this movie as like, man, if this is a really good movie, like I'm excited that like we'll have like a new definitive version of these guys on screen. And I think that's exactly what we got with this movie. I think, obviously, you hear that it's like Evan Goldberg and Seth Rogen producing it, and you look at their track record, whether it's Invincible, The Boys, whatever it might be. You have a certain amount of confidence going into it, knowing that it's those guys behind it. But when they really like pull it off, it's like a whole nother level of just like, honestly, just like being impressed at the movie. Like, it had, you were like, man, I hope this is good. And then you start to hear, like, the early reactions be, it was almost as good as Across the Spider-Verse. Yeah. And you're like, oh, it was almost as good as one of the best animated movies of, like, the past 5 or 10 years. Yeah. Like, and it really is. Like, I would say, I would struggle on where I would put this versus Into the Spider-Verse. I still think Across the Spider-Verse is better than this movie, but I think it's almost on the level of Into the Spider-Verse, which is like obviously an amazing movie. Like the fact that you got this much emotions out of the turtles and everything like that. Like there's just one scene very early on in the movie where they when you're kind of first introduced to them, they have like a grocery list, and they're like, Leo is very. Are you a Turtles fan?
Not really.
You know of them?
I know of them.
Yeah.
I think I played like one of the arcade games. Yeah. When I was younger, just for a little bit. But other than that, I'm not really. I might have seen one of like the live action movies.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
when I was younger as well. Yeah. But other than that, not
really. So like Leonardo, like his whole like shtick basically is, he wants to be the leader, and then Mikey is like kind of the even though they're all the same age, Mikey's kind of like the younger, like, kind of, you know, more carefree, like, goofball one.
Right.
And then Raphael is, like, got anger issues, and he's also, you know, very, like, protective and stern and stuff. And then Donatello is, like, the nerd. Mm-hmm. Like, that's basically all you need to know about this. But what they did with those caricatures and kind of character archetypes to bring them into the modern day, where, like, Donatello has always been, like, the kind of, like, tech guy nerd, and then Mikey has always kind of been, like, the, like, goofball nerd, but, like, in this one, they both love Attack on Titan. Like, okay. And that's, like, part of their character. Yeah. So it's, like, it's not just going, oh, here are these characters we've seen so many times before, and, you know, he likes video games. It's, like, very specific to, like, now, like, Donatello likes BTS. You know what I mean? Like, it's very, like, current and stuff like, obviously they're even younger than we are. They're like literally a decade younger than us. But, like, I still connected with it so well. And then, like I said, there's that scene where they're going, like, grocery shopping, and all the other guys want to stop to watch this, like, outdoor movie at a drive-in, and Leo's like, you know, no, we gotta go back, like dad wants us back, whatever. And then they don't, so they end up going to see the movie, and it's like it's just Footloose. And, like, a big arc of this movie is that, like, they just want to be, like, regular high school kids and, like, just go to school with everybody else. It's just as simple as that. They just wish that they could go to school with everyone else. And, like, there's, like, a little vision, like, fantasy vision, and literally all it is them dressed in regular clothes going to school. And, like, that was, like, so sad. And then, like, as they're all going back in the sewer, like, Leo, who's the one that didn't want to go to the movie, is the last one to go down, and he just, like, stands there. And it kind of reminded me of, like, the earlier scenes in WALL-E, like, where he's just, like, very sad. Like, where Leo just, like, looks at it, and then, like, I think Mikey pops his head back up, and, like, he almost, like, cries. And it just holds on that. And I was just like, what is going on with this movie? Right. And then it just keeps getting more emotional from there. And it's, like, incredible what they pulled off. But really, really incredible movie. I wish more people were going to see it, but you know, apparently Paramount put out some thing to their investors that the movie is expected to bring in $1 billion worth of merchandise sales. Oh, so the fact that it's only making, like, probably going to wind up with, like, maybe 150, maybe $200 million at the box office really doesn't matter when the movie is generating, like, $1 billion in merchandise. But yeah, so it seems like we're definitely going to get, like, more of these, which I'm very excited for.
So speaking TMNT, what was the question you wanted to ask me?
Yeah, so I don't know if anybody saw this or what, but they released a trailer this week, or I feel like the definition of a teaser trailer for TMNT The Last Ronin. So this is a comic book that came out, I believe, 5 years ago. Yeah. And it is basically where three of the turtles are, like, a very big pivot here from the high school movie, but where, like, three of the turtles have been, like, murdered.
Oh, and shit,
so
okay.
only Jeez. One. So you don't know anything about this at all?
No, I heard on a show I was watching, I think 2 days ago.
It's apparently the yesterday. God of War people making it, something.
Oh, really?
Something Nordic.
Sony said, THQ Nordic.
Yeah, THQ.
That's not God of War.
Well, no, they said it was a God of War style combat. And then it's THQ Nordic. Yeah, that's who's making it.
Well, I'd say I don't know if you have any, like, connection to them, but they did, like, the remaster of the SpongeBob game, Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's who's making it, but basically it's based on this comic. This comic that is really, like, it was liked when it came out and everything, but I feel like it's really picked up steam with, like, just, like, first of all, it was just like, holy shit, look at, like, they made this, like, super dark, like, it's super dark graphic, like, very R-rated, like, TMNT comic, which TMNT started as a comic, but it's basically three of the turtles have been killed, and so is Splinter, and everybody else is dead. So there's just one surviving turtle, and he uses, like, one weapon from each of them, so, like, it's this very cool, like, and he's the last Ronin. And part of the whole first issue, I've read the first 3 issues of it, part of the whole first issue is you don't even know which turtle it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you don't even know who you're following. You just know that it's one of them. And then I'll just say, because, you know, whatever. because they revealed in the first issue, and in the game they've already said like who it is, but it ends up being it's Mikey. So it's like Michelangelo, like the happy-go-lucky, like cheery one out of all of them. Is the only one left.
Which
orange?
Orange. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's typically the one that's like shorter and orange, and he's the one that like they all love pizza. But he's the one. Yeah. He's a very big pizza guy. That's for sure. And then typically he's the one that develops emotional feelings for April O'Neil, but in this movie they gave that to Leo, which I thought was pretty interesting. Ayo Edebiri, Sydney from The Bear, played April O'Neil in the movie. So she was very good. But yeah, so they're taking this comic that is this very dark, grim, like it's called The Last Ronin, like think Hawkeye Ronin from the MCU, right. Like but as a turtle. In the God of War like game style, like kind of that third person action adventure game, kind of like Fallen Order, everything like that. So I just think if this game ends up coming to fruition, which who knows with the state of games these days, but if it ends up coming out, I am very, very excited for this. But I mean, would you play this? TMNT,
maybe.
Dark?
I don't, like you said, I don't have, or like I said earlier, I don't really have that big of a connection. If it's good, I'd try it out, and if it was on Game Pass, maybe.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I don't know if maybe it's launching on there, maybe it's not. But if it's good, I liked I liked Battle for Bikini Bottom, but like again, it was more of a nostalgia thing where it's like it just didn't feel like it used to. Mm-hmm. Where I felt like some of the actions were like, oh, that's a little heavier than what it felt like when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I think THQ also had a decent hand in a lot of the Nickelodeon game adaptations.
Yeah.
Whether
that makes sense. I mean, TMNT is Nickelodeon.
Whether it was like the SpongeBob movie, some of the Fairly Odd Parents games, or even like Tak. Do you remember with Tak?
Oh yeah.
Power
like
Juju.
TAK.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I think they did that one too. I could be wrong, but I would definitely try it out. But it would probably have to be the right price again if it wasn't on Game Pass. So it'd probably have to be around like, not a full 60, 70, maybe like a 40,
I mean, if they're
50.
saying, to be fair, like, and obviously if you're not into Turtles, you're not into Turtles.
Right. Yeah, that's for me.
It's going to be a hard sell. I think it is going to be a hard sell to get like the mass population to get this game. Mm-hmm. But I feel like you kind of have to kind of go all out and make it like a AAA title. Otherwise, people are going to be like, what's the point? They're going to be like, oh, it's just another... You can't just say, oh, it's just another Nickelodeon game. You have to be like, holy shit, you need to get this.
But you saying God of War Combat.
Yeah, that's like... what every release has said about it, is they say that it is going to be... I mean, like I said, this is a dark, R-rated, very violent, very, like, visceral comic book. We're talking, like, dismemberments, like everything. And again, this is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, it's, like... Obviously, he's not a teenager anymore in the comic, but so if it can live up to the hype of that promise, which again, you got the Spider-Man games lived up to the hype, the Fallen Order games lived up to the hype, God of War, obviously, everybody agrees it lived up to the hype, everything like that. It's just about execution, I don't want this to be a Star Wars Eclipse or a Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake situation. But yeah, very excited for this. Do you hear about Marvel VFX artists voting to unionize? Now this is 50 on-set visual effects artists. So this is not the farms of thousands of people in Mumbai, who also need to unionize and get their rights protected. This is the on-set, you need to put a tape up on that. You need to, brush this out. How is this going to look in camera? So this is 50, I believe the number now is 53 on-set visual effects artists have voted to unionize at Marvel Studios. So obviously this is a subsidiary of Disney. So, when this story continues to develop, which obviously it will, we could see more houses at Disney come through to this. So the number could grow. Could see other studios, VFX artists, join in on this. But for right now, for this, it's just these 50 or so people at Marvel Studios. But basically what they've done is they're not voting to like make a VFX artist union. They're voting to join IATSE, which we've been talking about for like the past year, because IATSE also had some protests and strikes over the way that things were being run. about a year and a couple months ago, and then also now obviously with the writers and the actors strike, IATSE is all of the on-set crew, so it's, you know, prop masters, you know, hair and makeup, basically, you know, anybody and everybody that would be on a film set is pretty much covered in IATSE. So this is them voting that they want to join IATSE. So it's not like they want to make their own union. They just voted that they want to join IATSE and be protected under there. And some of the things are like, right now, you know, if they go, you know, we need to change this shot, you're going to have to, you know, stay later and do this. Right now, let's say if you're an on-set VFX person and you make, you know, it's Los Angeles and it's the movie business, so it's probably a little higher than, you know, we would make. But let's say if you're making $30 an hour for a 10 to 12 hour workday, if you have to stay for 16 hours, you're not making overtime, you're not making anything extra. Whereas if you're covered under IATSE, you know, you would get overtime protections, you would get all kinds of, you know, your breaks would be sanctioned, all these different protections that literally right now, you know, unfortunately a VFX artist might as well be like an hourly employee at McDonald's. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, well, if you have to stay, we're going to keep paying you.
Yeah.
It's like,
not
okay, what about
rate, though.
Yeah, but you're going to have to work until 2 a.m. and then, you know, first call is 6. So get you know, I mean, it's like they just have no protections of any kind like that right now. So what were your thoughts on all this stuff?
Everything you just said to me.
And do you think that this is a rolling stone in terms of all these strikes? Like, are we seeing momentum build here for like a broader thing in Hollywood because of all the other strikes that are going on and unionizing, you know, contracts and stuff? What do you think?
I think. Well, first of all,
I think
that's a great idea. Anytime you feel like you're not getting, you don't have those protections in place, or you feel like you aren't getting what you deserve for the work you're putting in, I think definitely, you know, voting to join a union that already has those kind of things in place is definitely a plus. And I think what you just said, I think we are seeing more and more kind of groups of different people working on these sets, you know, start to realize maybe that they can take advantage of joining a union and get all the benefits that offers. Especially just, I feel like in where we live like today, that's more available to you than maybe, you know, 50 years ago or whatever it was. Just because, you know, obviously studios still wield a very large amount of power, but if you can find some way in joining a union to kind of take some of that power back from them and have it benefit you, I think, why wouldn't you do that?
And I think it's something too that, like, you know, we obviously the end goal is you'd want everybody in Hollywood working under these conditions in all sorts of areas of the business, for everybody to be protected and everything like that, especially, you know, the visual effects artists, you know, who are at the computers in the thousands and thousands of, you know, visual artists that work on these movies. And it's not just Marvel, it's not just Disney, it's every single studio across the entire board. You know, you'd want, at the end of the day, you'd want everybody to be protected, but the fact that, you know, we're seeing it start here with these people at Marvel, I think, is no small thing. And I hope that, you know, it goes through, and I hope that their vote is approved and that they're able to join, and that, you know, frankly, I hope that more people go to join with them.
Right.
But yeah, I think very, very interesting. We'll be, you know, monitoring that, seeing what's going on with that.
Can we just real quick talk about the Zachary Levi quotes from the other day that
Let's go for it.
He said? So this is coming from, I'm reading this off Discussing Films Twitter, and this is the original source is from EW. Zachary Levi says, I personally feel like the amount of content that comes out of Hollywood that is garbage. They don't care enough to actually make it great for you guys. And then he says, we have to actively not choose the garbage. It'll help a lot. And now I saw a hilarious tweet that
was it the letterbox grid?
No, that Michael Vogel tweeted.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He said the call is coming from inside the house. For me personally, when I saw this, I said, "Did you not watch Shazam? Did you not watch that? That it falls into this what you're talking about right here."
Yeah.
And again, it's not just comic movies, there's great movies. Great movies. Oppenheimer, great movie. Barbie, great movie. And again, people were saying, watch the studios will take like the wrong lesson from.
Yeah, did you see like Randall Parks?
Oh no, what did he say?
He was on the picket line, and he was like take Barbie for example. He was like, the studios are just taking the wrong lessons from literally all of this stuff.
Yeah.
He was like, they're gonna look at Barbie and they're gonna say, all right, great, let's make more movies based on these toys. And he's like, no, make more movies written and directed and about women. Like, that is what people are responding to here. It's not the fact that I'm sure some section of population who grew up with Barbie, that is what they're globbing onto, is the IP of it.
Yeah.
But it's about what it means to be a human being.
Right.
Like, that's what Barbie's about. It's not about Barbie Land. It's about, I think one of the most beautiful shots I've literally ever seen in a movie is the shot when it's, spoilers for Barbie, the shot where it's her and Rhea Perlman holding hands, and you just see the close-up on Margot Robbie's chest, and it's like you see her like take her first breath like in the real world, like as like a person. And it's just like the Billie Eilish song is playing, and it's like you moved an entire auditorium and an entire world's worth of people. Like, it's not just the auditorium that I was in, it's every auditorium in the entire world showing Barbie this past month is like this huge effect. And they take from it, J.J. Abrams is going to make a Hot Wheels movie. Like that, like that's the lesson. Like, that, it makes no sense.
Another thing I just find ridiculous is just the budgets on what the budget
everything
variance. No, just the variance though.
Yeah,
like, people talking about Secret Invasion. 6 episodes cost what, $225 million or something ridiculous. When this fucking movie where they're showing bombs, no CG. Yeah, granted, no CG. Costs like half, I think, of what Secret Invasion costs. You got half of
Hollywood in there.
And then, obviously, again,
even look at something comparable to Secret Invasion, Andor cost like $15 million more than Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
And it had double the episodes, double the runtime. It had 12 45-minute episodes. I feel like people forget that about Andor, is how long those episodes were. Yeah. It had 12 concretely 45 to like 47-minute episodes. And it only cost like $10 million more dollars. Yeah. Where is the money going?
I did not realize Shazam only made 132.
What's the budget on it?
125. So is this telling me what it needs to make it back to break even?
The production budget?
Where it says worldwide box office 1.1 times production budget?
No, so scroll up again. How much did it make?
132.
132, so scroll down. No, that literally just means it made 1.1 times 125,000.
Okay, got it.
So it would have had to...
120 million, you mean?
125 million, yeah. It would have had to have made like $250 million.
To break even.
Yeah. And that's even like putting like...
Look at, that is crazy.
Yeah,
I thought for sure it had to be.
No.
Speaking of which, we didn't even...
This movie came out this year?
Yeah, it came out. Yeah, I know.
No way. I literally just got smacked in the face when I saw 2023 on the screen.
Real quick, shout out to Barbie.
Barbie's lunch was all of Shazam's box office. Barbie's decimals was
which I correctly. I would just like to say I correctly.
Look at the budget.
Not 100 mil for Barbie. Not a shot in the dark for me. This was pretty much written on the wall that it was going to hit a billion.
Yeah.
But shout out to me for predicting correctly that it hit a billion. It's currently at 1.1 billion. Definitely not going to get to 2. But could it get to maybe 1.2? 1.3?
1.2?
Well, I don't know. It's got to be slowing down, right?
This number...
It's got to be slowing down.
What's today? Tuesday night? That number got updated on Sunday night. I think we're probably right now at 1.4.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
sorry.
This is like... No, I was like 1.2. That's like... I think it'll settle around 1.7. Okay. I think you'll see... Once it hits like 1.4, it's going to... That's going to be the steepest decline. I say that now, but who knows? I don't know if Gran Turismo is going to really, take the competition away.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would probably say I think it's definitely going to hit 1.5. But I think it probably peters out like 1.6, I think.
Okay.
What's Oppenheimer at? Do you still have that pulled up?
No, I can though.
I think it hit 600 million. All right, when you're looking that up about Oppenheimer, what were your thoughts on? Do you see the stuff about Doctor Strange? 650 million right now for Oppenheimer.
By the way. No, I didn't. What?
So apparently there's this report that, you know, Doctor Strange 3, I think Jeff Snyder on the Hot Mic podcast said quite a number of months ago that Doctor Strange 3 was being fast-tracked to come out before Kang Dynasty, which is something that we've heard for a while now at this point. Basically just some small tidbits and updates that, like, Doctor Strange 3 is, like, mega priority at Marvel Studios right now, that it'll act as, like, the prelude to Kang Dynasty, so kind of like Captain Marvel or Black Panther to like Endgame, and well, really more like maybe a little bit closer to like Civil War, maybe, in terms of like setting up the future, but not only that, but that Doctor Strange and Kang will kind of take the Thanos and Iron Man role of kind of like the two main adversaries for this film. Okay. You know, who knows, with Secret Wars it could be Doctor Doom related and stuff. Just focusing on Kang Dynasty right now, that's what they were talking about, is that really Doctor Strange is going to be like kind of the main driving force character that we're going to be following for that movie. What are your thoughts on that?
Doctor Strange for Kang Dynasty?
For Kang Dynasty, yeah.
I think that's interesting. I think maybe that, you know, that kind of leads to, I'd imagine, Benedict Cumberbatch's kind of, you know, exit stage right for the MCU.
Maybe, yeah.
He's been in a while. You know, do they follow maybe that kind of same formula where, you know, obviously Endgame was the last we saw of Robert Downey Jr. in the MCU?
When is it, when is Kang Dynasty set for right now?
I think it was like 26 or something. 26?
Well, I was just going to say 26, that's 10 years for Iron Man. 10 years for Downey, and that would be 10 years for Cumberbatch. 2016 to 2026. Yeah, maybe he does go out on top. Yeah, he already died once. You got to make it stick if you're doing it again.
No, I could see that. Is it supposed to be Kang Dynasty then Secret Wars?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe
it's like Kang Dynasty, Fantastic Four, then Secret Wars.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see it again though. Oh, didn't you rewatch? I don't think we talked about it. You rewatched Multiverse of Madness, didn't you?
I didn't.
Oh, you did.
I did. Okay. I was going to the day that I watched. We ended up watching the first Avatar instead.
Oh, okay.
Because I was like, but I did watch. I didn't rewatch the movie, but I relived it. I watched the Honest trailer and then the Honest trailer commentary, and then I went back and I watched a spoiler review of it. Yeah. So I did do all of that. So like, it's everything is very fresh.
Coming from those three videos, did your opinion change at all or no?
No, I mean, my opinion changed of, like, when I really sit down by myself and just, like, rewatch it again, I think I'm going to enjoy... I enjoyed it when I first watched it. I really did.
You just didn't... I haven't rewatched it, so I'm going to have to, and maybe I'll change my opinion. But, again, coming out, I, like, absolutely loved it.
Yeah. And it's funny because you love WandaVision so much, but I'm just, like, my biggest gripes with it is how it just... It's like square peg, round hole on WandaVision. Right. And it's like, how did this... Like, I was saying to my friend at work the other week, I was like, you know, kind of weird that, like, this Wanda Maximoff lady goes crazy. And, like, I don't know, maybe the one person in the world that could calm her down, you know, who was the co-star of the previous project that she was in, who just flies out of a ceiling, never to be heard from again, apparently. You know, maybe he could have been either in the movie, or here's an idea, maybe even just say Vision's name just once. Yeah. Just ever once in the movie, which never happens.
He's never mentioned.
You know, because also, you know, his kids are in it also, which is kind of weird. You know, Vision's sons are in it, but the name Vision or my love or my husband... actually, I just lied. She does say that line in the trailer, where he goes, "What do you know of the multiverse?" And she goes, "Viz always said it was dangerous." That's it. That's all. So technically, she doesn't ever say Vision. But outside of that, they don't address any of it.
Yeah.
And it's like, he is the biggest person in her life. she is having a meltdown. Wouldn't he be like priority one?
Yeah.
And that's just like nitpicking, obviously. Like if they didn't want Vision in the movie, whatever. But it's like it's bigger than that. It's just like it's the characterization and stuff that just doesn't sit well with me. But I will say I do still love like the Doctor Strange elements of it and stuff. I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, Doctor Strange took a backseat in his own movie, because I'm like, it kind of is like a co-starring movie. It's just his name on the bill. You know what I mean? I think he's just as much the main character as like Steve was of Captain of Civil War. You know what I mean? It's like there's a lot of screen time dedicated to a lot of people that aren't Steve Rogers in that movie. But at the end of the day, the movie is still about Steve Rogers. Just like, you know, at the end of the day, I will give it the credit. Multiverse of Madness is about, is Stephen Strange happy? You know, that's kind of like what the whole movie is about. Is he's lying to people, saying like, I'm happy, I'm fine, and then he has a conversation with himself where he's like, you're not happy, and then he has that whole thing with Christine where it's like, you know, I wish, and I haven't seen the movie since the day it came out, and I've got all this in my brain, but I'm just, and like, I'm respecting it, you know. I think it's a good switch your next. You know, I respect that stuff, so I got to give it another shot. But you know, I definitely, it's just one of those Marvel projects as of late that I'm just like, I wanted Doctor Strange 2 to be like one of my favorite Marvel movies, and it just wasn't. Yeah, that's it. That being said, though, I'd be okay if they brought Sam Raimi back for the third one. Yeah, I would be.
I agree with that. Yeah. Switching to a little more lighthearted, I guess, topic. Yeah. I just need your opinion. I don't know if you've watched this. Maybe you haven't.
I have seen the clips. I am not caught up with Strange New Worlds, but I stopped on the Lower Decks crossover where Jack Quaid came from the animated show to be live action. Yeah. There was a very Jimmy Timmy Power Hour Star Trek. Literally, he goes from an animated character, jumps through a portal, and then is live action. It's it's amazing.
Yeah, I did. What is the deal? Can I just ask, because I'm not in tune with Star Trek at all. Yeah. I've only seen the first and second movie, and that's it. The old ones, not like the newest ones. Why is it a musical in this episode?
So I don't know why it is a musical, other than this description says an accident with an experimental quantum probability field causes everyone on the Enterprise to break uncontrollably into song. I have seen several clips from this, which I thought were very delightful, including some Klingons doing, I believe, BTS, I think, which was very interesting. But yeah, I mean, Strange New Worlds is just like, speaking of Multiverse of Madness, Black Bolt, Black Agar Boltagon himself. What mouth? I'll tell you, he's got a great mouth in this episode. He's singing like crazy. But yeah, Anson Mount, I think this show is just like so much fun. Like if you're a Star Trek fan and you're not watching Strange New Worlds, I don't know what you're doing, because it's just like, people are like, oh, I hate Discovery because it's so like, you know, there's people out there that are like, Discovery's so woke, which is like, whatever. But then like a realistic criticism that I'll take is like, Discovery is very dour. Like it's very like,
go woke, go broke, they say.
Kind of, yeah.
And you go make $1 billion.
Yeah, exactly. I believe that Barbie will fall off in the second. But really though, like, Discovery is very dour and like kind of a little more like melancholy, like you know, dramatic, whatever. Strange New Worlds is just like, which is funny because, you know, Captain Anson Mount as Captain Pike started on Discovery. Like Discovery or Strange New Worlds is a direct spin off of Discovery. But Strange New Worlds is just, it just throws all that out the window, and it's just classic, episodic, beautiful Star Trek, wacky stuff, political stuff, philosophical stuff, just fun science fiction adventure. You know, it's just a lot of fun. And you know, there's room to, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the best seasons of CW Flash, like with much higher budget. Obviously, a much higher budget, but you know, just in terms of the writing and just like, you know, they can have fun with it, because they're like, we have so many episodes. It's because Strange New Worlds is, I think it's 12 episodes a season, which isn't a lot compared to old TV, but like for streaming, 12 is a lot of episodes. So I think they just have fun with it. But yeah, speaking of streaming,
My last question for you.
The hit of the year.
I feel like things have been just popping into my mind. Things I've seen these past 2 weeks. Did you even know this? So we're looking at the IMDb page. By the way, maybe next week or 2 weeks from now, we'll have a.
Yeah, you'll be able to see.
You'll be able to see what we're looking at.
Yeah.
We just don't have a overlay set up.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at the Heart of Stone IMDb page. Did you even know this movie existed?
So it came out on August 11th. I found out about it, I think, August 9th.
Yeah.
So, and that was only because she was on Hot Ones.
Oh. Okay,
great episode of Hot Ones. I think it was the season finale because it was the last one before the strike. But
yeah.
very, very, very good. She was a lot of fun on Hot Ones and everything. And obviously, we can talk about what Miss Godot has been talking about her other franchise and kind of the back and forth there in a second.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, I didn't know anything about this movie, but I hear apparently Netflix, it's the #1 movie starring...
No, it's not.
It's the #1 movie starring an Israeli ex-military, ex-DC superhero.
I thought you were going to say that was the actual thing they were saying.
No. That was the meme, was people were like, I can't wait to hear what specific record this movie sets at Netflix, because every movie is like, Gray Man is the 4th highest movie with a guy on a train. Like, that's what all of Netflix is like. But yeah, I got nothing.
They need to get that. I don't understand.
Red Notice, Mother, wasn't that the J-Lo one that came out a little bit ago? Mother, and they were like, it's the #1 female-led action movie on Netflix ever.
Yeah,
it's like,
meanwhile, it's
really?
like you got Suits. You're paying how much money
exactly,
for a license to stream, and you can get on Peacock,
and you're not paying anybody in residuals.
Yeah.
You see that? The one star of Suits was like, when we got sold to some Asian distributor in 2012, I got one residual check that was $250,000. And then he was like, my Netflix residual for Suits last month was $4.
Wow.
And it's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, you get $250,000, and it's all the same percent. So it's literally, they're just lying about the numbers like so clearly, but it's just insane.
Again, and maybe just because that's my job is accounting, but I really would want to
open the books.
If the government ever like came in and told these studios, be like, let us look at your accounting and see where all this money's going.
Yeah.
Because there's those things like people say, oh, Forrest Gump still never made a cent. Or something like that.
Or like John Cusack, Say Anything with the boombox. He was like, I had a deal that he was like, I made, what did he say? He was like, I made $70,000 to film that movie, and then I got 3% on the back end. He goes, as of last decade, I called the producer. It still hasn't made a dime. He's like, apparently I owe them money. Like, he was like literally nothing. Like,
but I would just be so interested to see how they are kind of shuffling the money around to make it look as though, I guess they don't really have to make it look anyway, per se. From what I can tell, they just say, oh, it doesn't make any money.
Yeah.
And nobody really has the authority, it seems like, unless you're like maybe the government, to go in and force them to pay out.
Who watches The Watchmen? Indeed.
Yeah, it's a good question. We were going to Gal Gadot DC, I think, is what we were
so you got all this stuff out there where apparently, so it started with this interview that she gave in June with IndieWire, I believe, which was, they said, what's going on with Wonder Woman 3? And she was like, I had a meeting several months ago with James Gunn and Peter Safran, and they were like, we're gonna develop a Wonder Woman 3 with you. And that was the original quote. And then I think because all these outlets, they're holding on to all these interviews from like June and stuff, because they gotta make sure they have articles to write. So like, they're not just dumping all these interviews at once. That's why we're hearing all these quotes from all these celebrities that were like put down on paper like months ago. So then this other outlet, which I forget who the second one was, might have been Flaunt here. Let's see. Yes, this is the second one. So if you go back to the tweet, that is the second one. So then from this Flaunt magazine, came out and said, hey, we also have this interview from June, where we also asked Gal Gadot about Wonder Woman, where she then elaborated a little bit more on it, and she said, James Gunn and Peter Safran told her in the meeting that you're in the best hands. We're going to develop Wonder Woman 3 with you. We love you as Wonder Woman. You've got nothing to worry about. Now, and I pose this to everybody watching too, when you hear that, do you think this is like James Gunn and Peter Safran sat her down and were like, listen, you're still Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman 3 is happening. we got your back, you're in the safest hands, we're ready to go? Or do you think this is like they went, yeah, man, we love you as Wonder Woman. We'll talk about it, Wonder Woman 3. You're in great hands. Or do you think this is just she's just straight up BSing to try and get a job?
Wasn't there like, I thought there was like a script, but there was
a Patty Jenkins script that was before James Gunn.
Oh, it was.
So that was before James Gunn. James Gunn put the axe on Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman 3.
Right.
But that script was handed in before James. That was not developed with him at all. But he was the one that was like, hey, this script just does not work with what we're doing.
Yeah, I think it was the latter, what you said, where it's like, yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah. Because you can say, hey, Brandon Routh, we're going to develop a new Superman movie with you. We'll talk about it. Let's go out to dinner. Yeah. But it doesn't mean anything's going to happen.
We'll develop in 20 years when you're too old to play the role.
Yeah, exactly. Or like what they've been saying with everybody. The door's open.
Yeah.
The door's open. Doesn't mean you're going to walk through it. Yeah, it doesn't mean you have the invite, but the door is open. And they literally said that door is open. They've said that with Zachary Levi, with Gal Gadot, with Jason Momoa, and with Ezra Miller.
Why would you want to completely... Again, they've created this Elseworlds kind of
label. Yeah, where really anything's possible.
For anything, possible. Could we get a Wonder Woman 3 in that? Again, what I think that's the smartest move. No, because I think you're still probably confusing people with... Yeah. When you eventually recast a Wonder Woman between the DCU, right? DCU? Or DCEU?
DCU.
Yeah. DCU and the Elseworlds kind of label those between those two.
I finished that Warner Brothers documentary.
Oh, yeah. How was that? Good?
It was very good. You just reminded me because there was a lot of interesting DC stuff.
See, the thing about how Jack Warner was like, he was like, yeah, you're going to sell it, I'm going to buy it back.
Yeah, he's a snake.
Shady,
man.
Wasn't it?
He's a snake. You should watch on FX. They have the show Feud about Betty Davis and Joan Crawford and Jack Warner. Obviously, as you saw from the documentary, Betty Davis and Joan Crawford both had their fair beef with Jack Warner. Stanley Tucci plays Jack Warner in that show. One of the best characters I've ever seen on TV, and it's Stanley Tucci as Jack Warner, and he is just as much a despicable D-bag as you'd expect. But yeah, you just reminded me because there's a couple of interesting DC tidbits in the last episode, which was like the modern episode, like caught up to the present, where at least Morgan Freeman's voiceover officially calls it, which to my knowledge is the first time anything Warner Brothers has officially called it the DCEU, which they officially call it in that. And then also I was very surprised in this 4-hour documentary on the entire history of the Warner Brothers company, like 6 or 7 minutes dedicated to the Arrowverse. I was very surprised. I was like, wow, they're like he starts talking about Arrow, and I was like, that's cool. And then Morgan Freeman started talking about Legends of Tomorrow, and I was like, oh wow, they're like actually like acknowledging that these shows were like an important piece in their history, because they acknowledged like they made a shit ton of money with those shows. But yeah, and then this came out.
Poorly nothing was ever promised to Gal Gadot about Wonder Woman 3 happening, or any definitive discussion about her returning in the new DCU. Yeah, again, I'm not really surprised. And what everybody's saying is they really should, again, this is them kind of not as harshly, I'd say, restarting, where it's like, we're going to recast all these characters, but, you never know in the future, something can happen. You could always be Matt Reeves as Wonder Woman.
Yeah, that's true,
And just, again, the first movie was good. It was really good. The second one just was not
good.
Was not as good.
Yeah.
So, going forward.
Waste Pedro Pascal? How do you waste Pedro Pascal in a movie?
Yeah.
I renounce my wish? What are we talking about? And then you have Kristen Wiig, who again is like a phenomenal actress, and you turn her into a cheetah woman, which granted, I know the character's name is Cheetah and she is a cheetah woman, but I don't know, that movie was like,
I still remember being like, when she starts flying, I was like, wait, what? She can fly? I literally was like, she can fly?
Yeah, it was.
And I was like, when the fuck did she learn to fly?
Yeah. It was just like, and then she was like riding the lightning and stuff.
Riding the lightning,
movie.
yeah.
Very odd movie.
That I'll tell you what though, that trailer was a good trailer in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely, with the Blue Monday.
Ooh.
What is this?
Ooh, new. Okay.
1
quick
minute
report
ago.
from Culture Crave. From Variety, Fast X was reportedly barely profitable. The film grossed $714 million on a $340 million budget. Could they have now? Where did that? Now, actually, I do know where that $340 million went. It went to fucking Vin Diesel, probably. But again, we saw Fast X together. Yep. Fast X, a good return for a franchise that was really sinking. Really going downhill quickly.
According to us.
According to me, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
in my opinion.
I think a lot of people out there did not feel the same way that we felt about this movie. But also, like, I'm not a mainstay of the Fast franchise. Like, this was... I'd seen Hobbs and Shaw, and then I knew what happened because I watched, like, explainer videos and, like, the honest trailers and stuff like that. But, yeah, I mean, like, I enjoyed Fast X, but, I mean, you had to know, $340 million budget. And that's not including marketing. That's not including other expenses. That's not including anything else besides just making the movie. And like you said, you know, how much of that is going to Vin Diesel? And I feel like it's not so much a double standard as it is, like, putting in the work. Because then I see people also, you know, complaining about, well, why does Tom Cruise get $80 million for Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning? How is that fair when you know, when then people complain that Vin Diesel gets a big paycheck? And it's like Tom Cruise, because again, this is another thing that goes into the SAG strike and everything. When you're an actor and you see Tom Cruise made $80 million on Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, it's not like, oh, he made $80 for what? How many days did he actually film? For 60 days of filming, he made $80 million. It's for the 2 years of learning how to be a professional stunt motorbike driver. It's the 2 years of learning how to free fall and do all this stuff. Put in the work, put in the effort. He's also a very active person in the story and breaking the story and the writing process. And he's an on-set producer, plus being the complete star and face of the franchise. Like, it kind of is the same thing with Robert Downey Jr. towards the end. Now, Robert Downey Jr. never made $80 million on a Marvel movie. You know, his biggest paycheck, I think, was Endgame, which was, what, $40 million, I think, or $50 million he made for Endgame. But, like, he is the face of a tens of billions of dollars franchise. So it's like, for him to make $50 million, is it equitable for the fact that he made $50 million and then maybe, you know, Jeremy Renner only made like $2 million?
Right.
No, but I mean, it's like, you gotta weigh these things. It's the amount of effort that some of these people put in that I just think it ties all back to the strike and everything, just with certain people, you know, being like, well, why do they need more money?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's not how it works for every single person. But yeah, that's just like insane. How much does TMNT make?
Oh.
Yeah. See, that's the thing, though, is that
what's the? Do we know
it's
the
a
budget?
$70 million budget.
Oh, 70. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a $70 million budget. It's gonna make its money back at the theater, I think, because it's probably gonna end up around like 140 or something like that. So, you know, it's gonna do all right. But again, Paramount has already gotten ahead of any bad box office press by saying to its investors, listen, the movie maybe isn't making that much money at the box office, but they literally said that already, not its projections, already this movie has led to almost $1 billion in merch, which is like crazy. And I see it. I mean, you go to any store, this movie's everywhere. It's on every end cap with every toy and everything. You got Halloween coming up. People are going to want to be not just the Turtles, but people are going to want to be these versions of them for Halloween and stuff. So,
you think this hits Paramount Plus at some point? I'd have to imagine, right?
Oh, it's definitely going to hit Paramount Plus. I think the idea is that they're doing this movie, then they're doing a show set in this universe, and then a sequel. So I think the idea is they're going to do a movie, a season or two of the show, another movie, a season or two, like that thing. So it's like they're trying to build like a children's like franchise engine here. I think they're off to a pretty good start. I mean, if the show can be as good as the movie, you know, probably not with as much emotion, but like, you know, if it's like shorts or something, I think about it like, you know, like Star Wars Rebels. It's like Okay, they can make Twilight of the Apprentice be the movie, and then you get some episodes about the space whales and stuff. But then maybe something from the show, like the space whales, maybe that builds up there. What is this? Says, love the new setup. Thank you. Oh, we need the invisible jet. How come I didn't get any of this on here?
I didn't see any of those.
Oh, there we go. So is it true Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie are doing a sequel to Ocean's 11? It's been all over the news. No, that is not true. But they are, however, doing a prequel to Ocean's 11, which that's been in the rumblings ever since the news of like her Pirates of the Caribbean movie fell apart, which was like a year or so ago. That her next thing was that they are going to be doing, I believe it's that both of them are going to be Danny Ocean's parents. I believe that's what it is. Yeah,
I have no background in any of Ocean's movies, so what you're saying to me is like a foreign language.
Oh, fair enough. No, I think so that is the rumor, is that I think there was even like a synopsis for it before the strike. Even I want to say it's like set on a boat in the 60s. Like that the heist is going to be at like a cruise heist, which is very good. You should really watch the Ocean's movies. I mean, those are like, you would really like those movies. But yeah, so I mean, technically then, also because in Ocean's 8, Sandra Bullock is his sister, so I guess it would be both their parents. But yeah, that is the report. That's been floating around for like a year or so. So I wouldn't be surprised if that might be when everything starts back up again, if that's their next project together.
Any opinions on Rachel Zegler talking about how she didn't like Snow White and stuff like that?
So is that tone? Is she being serious?
No, she's being serious. Yeah.
Oh, okay, but with how terrible, I don't know about that. I mean, I saw that clip. I think it's just like, does Harrison Ford love Star Wars?
I saw that thing.
Yeah.
I saw that thing a lot where it was like Robert Pattinson like vehemently hates Twilight or whatever.
Yeah, that's another one too. Or even just like not even passionately hates. Think about how many celebrities just like are dispassionate about a franchise.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how many people are like, I don't read Marvel comics, but like, yeah, good. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's, I don't know. I don't really have a problem with that. I gotta say, the only thing I saw was, I think it was the Wired autocomplete interview with the two of them when she was like, "Oh, I got to admit."
Where's all this? Where is all this press coming from? Is this old? Are these old clips?
Well, it would have to be old, but I mean, I don't know.
Well, you said like where this Wired autocomplete thing.
Yeah, I just saw it on like TikTok because that's where it like blew up, I think.
But I'm like, in my head, I'm like, why are they doing? What were they in together? They'd be doing press.
I don't really know. Oh, it might have been D23?
Oh, maybe.
It might have been D23, maybe.
She would have said that at D23?
I mean, I don't think she was like, I fucking hate Snow White. Like, I don't think, like, and I'm not saying that that's what Danielle's saying. I'm not saying that's what a lot of people are saying, but I am saying that's what I'm seeing a lot of people be like.
Right.
Like, I saw one comment on TikTok that was like, out of all the millions of beautiful little girls out there that love Snow White, why did they have to pick her? And it's like, she didn't what? It's not like she was like, man, I'm so lucky I got this payday because I hate this movie. You know what I mean? I don't get that like narrative out there. But I don't know. I think like viral backlash. Come on, like what are we doing?
I think it's well within an actor's right to.
I think it's within the right to have an opinion about whatever they're in.
Go away. I don't.
Especially once they've already shot it. Like, you know what I mean? Right. It's not like they can take her off the project.
Right. Yeah.
Man, they're getting you.
Yeah. I'm just trying to look at the article.
They're getting you with the ad block. NBC News is not having it.
Screw you, NBC. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I don't know. I don't really care all that much.
Some
honestly.
Conservatives believe not only. Oh, okay. What are we doing here now?
Yeah, I don't know.
See, I don't know. You can never trust anything now because it all just devolves into.
I do want to know where that was though that they were talking about that.
It was just I saw it
on a carpet.
It was like the video I saw was like this of her face. So it was like a white background. So I don't really know what it was. It kind of looked like that, but
Rachel Zegler in general is a pick me girl bully. Danielle did tell me that like apparently
girl bully?
Yeah, that like it's like I don't know how
like
to
dodgeball, like
pick me. What do you
Pick me?
What? No. What does
like
that mean?
picking a team in gym?
No. What? No, I don't think so. I don't really know how to describe it. But Danielle was saying like that like people from high school that came out and said that, like, that she bullied them or something like that. Which I don't know if I necessarily get that. I don't know if I necessarily get that vibe from her or anything like that. But yeah, I don't know. You know, right to your opinion, I guess. Whatever. Again, Snow White did come out in 1937, so it's ripe for something. What's it called? A new interpretation.
Yeah. Now, what I will hear is like I think it's a difficult conversation, but you know, Wee Man from Jackass was talking about the new Snow White movie, where he was just like, you know, why has the pendulum? Both Wee Man was talking about the Snow White people, and then also another actor who is a little person, I believe in England, was talking about the Hugh Grant in the Wonka movie. And it's like, I think it's just like hard. Like, what do you do? Yeah. Like, do you feed into the stereotypical roles and like cast? I believe the correct term is little person. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But like, do you cast like a little person as all the dwarves again, or do you do like, I know in this one they made it like they're kind of like a folk group or something.
They're not, you know what I mean?
Like
they're not short. They're not.
No, they're just like little. They're like all shapes and sizes.
Okay,
they're like specifically like all different. Like they're very like it's a very like different group because there's that like shot of all of them on this like hill where they're all walking in a line. And it's like I get it. That's hard. Like it's if I was in Disney's position, it's like what do? Do you make them all little people and make them all short and just do that, right? Or do you try to do something different and then you know still get
you know no matter what they'll get shit for it no matter what, so whatever we're gonna do. All right, what's anything else on the
think we're ever gonna see David Ayer's Suicide Squad cut?
No, who cares about
David
that?
Ayer?
Will you stop with the like?
I have this quote here. I'm not even reading this quote from anywhere. I just know it off the top of my head.
Oh,
He said, I feel as though I've been riding a lion. He says, this is my burden to bear about his cut.
Shut up.
And he said the other thing he said was, I believe James Gunn has the right to start fresh with his franchise. Not like, period. Mm-hmm. I believe he has the right to start fresh with his franchise, a.k.a. let's get my cut out there so that he doesn't have to deal with people screaming at him, release the Ayer cut. Like, that was the read between the lines on that. And it's like, buddy, I don't know how many people are screaming at James Gunn to release the Ayer cut.
Yeah, just real quick, reading this from Post Cred Pod. Tweeted this. This is like a week ago. This movie
came out 7 years ago.
Yeah, Suicide Squad director David Ayer says James Gunn told him they'll release the uncut version of the film one day. Quote, my unseen film plays much better. The interest in my cut being shown seems real and organic. And James Gunn told me it would have its time to be shared.
Seems real and organic, as if
remember when
there's a chance it wouldn't have been.
Army of the Dead was voted favorite picture at the Oscars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so.
The Flash enters the Speed Force.
Oh yeah, that ridiculous thing too.
Break the rule, Barry.
No, I don't think we need this. And you know, Zack Snyder's Justice League was its own thing, which again apparently I don't know if was that true. They're taking off Max. Did you see that?
No,
story?
It was a boneheaded Zaslav move that caused it. But you know how that story came out that they were selling $500 million worth of music assets.
Yeah.
They sold the Justice League theme, so they DMCA'd their own trailer. So that's why the trailer was removed. Because the trailer was removed from YouTube. So they were like, the trailer was removed from YouTube. They're going to remove the movie. And it was like, no, it's because they got copyright struck by the people who bought the song from them. so they had to like re-edit it and then put it up or something. Yeah,
maybe not the smartest thing
Yeah.
to do. Yeah, I don't need to see the David Ayer Suicide Squad cut. I think we just move on.
Yeah.
You know,
it's been 7 years.
It's been it's done. Is it done? Do you know? Did he say? Is it like finished?
I don't think so.
I was gonna say, no, like, I mean, the Snyder Cut wasn't finished either.
Although, to be totally fair, it could be finished because this is not a Snyder situation where like he left in the middle of photography.
Right.
Like David Ayer like finished the movie and then they gave it to, you know, the new editing team to re-edit it. So it is possible it could be done. But yeah, I think it's done.
It's fine.
Yeah. All right, last thing let's talk about before we end up here. What are your thoughts on oh, look there he is, damaged. I'm not gonna hurt you. What did you say? We live in a society. All right, here we go.
Oh God.
Boom.
What's that? What is that?
Blue Beetle.
Oh,
There you go. That's for you right there.
What a button.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, let's put in a button on this podcast here and talk about some of these early reactions to Blue Beetle. So I don't even have specifics here. If you want to try and pull up specifics on there.
Okay.
But overall, I would say pretty mixed to positive. Although then again, a lot of movies these days, I feel like early word is always positive.
Yeah.
And late word is always mixed to negative. Like,
yeah.
I mean, look at The Flash. You know, we had 2 months of. The first month was, this is the best movie I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And then it was, you know, this is one of the best comic book movies I've ever seen.
Let's look for. Looking for. Something.
Whoa.
Where are you seeing that?
Whoa, look at this.
What?
Mr. Open the Books, here we go.
Oh.
TSG, so, you know, TSG? The arrow guy,
Oh,
the
yeah,
logo in the beginning?
Yep.
TSG has filed a lawsuit against Disney because the studio uses, quote, nearly every trick in the Hollywood accounting playbook to hoard hundreds of millions of dollars in profit. TSG has been a financier for various movies, including recently Avatar: The Way of Water and Banshees of Inisherin.
Ooh.
So, I mean, TSG is not a small company, but they are getting literally sued for exactly what we were just talking about.
Great.
That's crazy. Break them up, bust them up.
Yeah. So one, I found a reaction finally from Griffin Schiller, I think his name is. So I apologize if I just butchered that. He said, Blue Beetle is a massive win for DC and an electric introduction to the first hero of the DCU. Oh, I'm going to butcher his name. Xolo Maridueña's charismatic star-making performance confidently anchors this intimate synthwave journey of family, heritage, and purpose, a fresh and endearing spin on the origin story. So that's one positive. So that's great to see. Have you found another one at all or no?
I've not. I got lost in a Miss Chen take. The gas station lady from Venom. They were like, that scene should have been cut from Spider-Verse. Fair enough.
Man, that's only. Where are the other ones?
Let's see here.
I can't find any.
See, the problem is.
Maybe if I go to the hashtag Blue Beetle, maybe that'll.
Yeah, the problem is Twitter is just broken now.
Yeah.
So when you search Blue Beetle first reactions, it's like not that.
Right. Yeah.
What would be your thoughts? I saw this the other day.
What the hell is that?
What?
That is scary.
Oh, that's the AMC popcorn vessel. It's
that is terrifying.
It's a chest. It's a chest pack.
Oh.
Or a backpack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Oh, here we go. Eman's reviews on Twitter said Blue Beetle was a great intro for Jaime Reyes. Kind of wish we got more of him, but I'm looking forward to what he'll bring to the DCU. Love the authentic Latino vibes. If Ken's could have a beach off in Barbie, then Blue Beetle will have a family off with Fast X. This was decent. Okay, so a little less than I feel like the previous reaction that we just read, but still positive.
Let's see here. I got THR's article on early reactions, so hopefully this will do a little bit better than
scrolling Twitter.
Here we go. Okay. Yeah, why are we literally searching hashtag Blue Beetle? I search Blue Beetle early reactions. I'm not even getting Frosty's reaction. Yeah. He's the number one on the THR article. Okay, so this is Collider Frosty from Collider, Steve Weintraub. Happy to report that Blue Beetle was so much better than I expected. He's added his own flavor to the superhero genre by having the film focus on a tight-knit family and Latino culture. It's fun, extremely funny, and he got away with a few jokes that completely floored me. Vanessa D says, happy to finally share Blue Beetle. It's everything I hoped it would be. Angel Manuel Soto, who's the director, filled the film with the heart of Latin culture and focused on the importance of family and believing in yourself against all odds. It's the best film to come out of the DCU since Wonder Woman. Wow.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah. That was a while ago.
Yeah. David, see, that'd be hard for me because I don't agree with both ends of that, because I for me it would have to beat the Suicide Squad. To me, I still think the Suicide Squad is the best DC.
Oh, then yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I completely forgot Suicide Squad.
Blue Beetle is one of the best. Oh, sorry, this is from David Betancourt. Yeah, David Betancourt. Blue Beetle is one of the best movies of DC's modern era, right up there with the first Wonder Woman movie. Fun, emotional, culturally significant, extremely funny. I was blown away. Jaime Reyes absolutely deserves to be a part of the new DCU. Wow.
High
so
praise.
Again, what do you want to say? Take it with a grain of salt. Mm-hmm. Whatever. A lot of these early reactions do generally skew positive, no matter what. And I think that that's just something that, you really have to take these with a grain of salt. These days, it's not like before where, you would generally get a mix. But, overall, a lot of positive talk, a lot of positive stuff. Are you seeing it this weekend? Comes out tomorrow.
Honestly completely forgot that it came out this week.
Yeah.
So maybe, I don't know. I think we're pretty busy this week, so maybe not this week. Hopefully the week before, or at least before we go to Disney.
Yeah. What week do you go to Disney, by the way?
September 1st. So
September 1st. Okay.
Yeah. So 1st to the 6th.
Are you gonna be going on that Tuesday?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So we might be taking another break.
Oh yeah.
But we're gonna be back. But we will be here next week, of course. But we do have our 2 vacations coming up, unfortunately. Maybe we could, I don't know, maybe we can get a guest in. Maybe we can see if Brandon or Paige or somebody, we can get somebody to fill in, an old reliable, get Danielle in here. We'll see. But
I want to read these real quick. Danielle said, you weren't theater kids. You don't understand the effect a pretty mean girl in theater has on you. Fair enough. I was not a theater kid.
That's fair.
Shirley said, I was a theater kid and totally get it. Just make all the dwarves different versions of Hugh Grant.
That would be amazing. I would actually really like that.
Do you think that movie's going to be good?
Wonka?
Honestly, yeah.
Have we talked about Wonka?
Yeah, we talked about it. Trailer came out.
I think it'll be... I don't know. I mean, it's like, I'm excited. Like, Paul King gets me excited because the Paddington movies, they're really, really good. He gave up his spot on Paddington 3 for this movie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, well, originally, but now with all the delays, who knows? Maybe he'll come back on Paddington 3. But I think Paddington 3 is in good hands because I think it's like his on-set producer is taking over as director or something. I think the movie looks interesting. Mm-hmm. I'm not sold on Timmy. I'm not sold on Timmy as Wonka yet.
So quiet up and listen down.
Yeah. I'm making chocolate.
That's
I'm making chocolate, of course. Yeah. You know what he sounds? You ever watch Rhett and Link?
No.
They're Southern, but when they lean into their Southern accents, that's what he sounded like in parts of that trailer. I'm making chocolate, of course. What are you talking about?
Real quick, have you seen Talk to Me or no?
I have not. No.
Are you going to?
I do want to. Yes, very much so. But I gotta get. So I was like, oh my god, I'm confidently I'm up to date on my movies, and then like this back half of the summer has just been like boom, boom.
Yeah.
Like theater camp. Did you?
Yeah, Danielle saw that the other day.
Where did she see it?
She saw it at
Elmwood?
No, Amherst.
Dipson?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that fair enough, Dipson. But like, it's just gone. It just got lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
Elmwood had it for 1 week. We never even got it. And and then it's just gone. It went. The highest it hit was 750 theaters. It's in like 200 now.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it. It just got lost in the shuffle. Everybody's saying it's really good, and I was. It's got Molly Gordon. It's got Ayo Edebiri. It's got I'm
Ben
not a
Platt.
fan of Ben Platt.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna see the movie. It's got a lot of funny people in it. But that's just gone. Have you heard anything about Jules? I have just heard that it's good, and I wanted to watch it. I almost watched it at one night after work a couple nights ago, but I just didn't have enough time.
What's Jules?
It's that Ben Kingsley movie where it's like it's like E.T. but with Ben Kingsley basically.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's got like just a ton of like old, like really funny like comedians. Like it's got Jane Curtin from like Coneheads and like SNL and stuff. It's got a lot of really cool people in it.
Are you gonna see Gran Turismo or no?
Like, yes, but like I gotta catch up on everything. Like well, really, I don't know. What do I have to catch up on? I gotta catch up on. I want to see Jules. I have to see Theater Camp. I have to see Talk to Me. Like those two, I definitely need to watch. Man, I work at a movie theater and I look at the schedule all day, every day. Yeah. Can't even remember what's come out, but like those two particularly, I really want to see. And then Blue Beetle, I'm obviously going to see. And then Gran Turismo, I would want to see Gran Turismo, but especially because apparently people are saying it's like it was like good,
it's fun, yeah.
Yeah, and they were like it's like an emotional third act, and I was like, okay, sign me up, I guess. I'm
not a racing guy, but
yeah,
I'm definitely like Ford. It's not on the quality of Ford v Ferrari, obviously, but still, I'm interested. I'm thinking more and more about I can't stop really thinking about the creator. I'm really excited for that. I think.
Yeah, that's the thing is that blissfully, at least, we have a big gap coming up, like a really big gap. Is once Gran Turismo comes out, it's like basically just crap until September 29th. And then September 29th, I don't know about you, three major heavy hitters for me on September 29th. And that is The Creator, Saw 10, and Paw Patrol. Mighty, what is it? Mighty Powers or Paw Patrol? The
Saw
Mighty
10.
movie.
Yeah.
No, but
I keep forgetting about
real
that.
talk though. September 29th, that might be another Barbenheimer level. Like I'm gonna take the time for the double feature of The Creator and Saw X because both of those are like super high up on my list. Saw obviously number one. That's what I'm gonna watch first. But
I think last question. I promise everybody. I want to ask you is,
do you want to play a game?
No. Are you going? You're not. Actually, not even going to ask because you're not going to watch it. But have you seen the discourse about Spider-Man Lotus?
Wow. Okay, I thought about bringing this up.
Yeah.
I've absolutely seen the discourse about Spider-Man Lotus. I don't think I'm going to watch it, but I might scrub through it. I didn't know until a couple days ago that it was 2 hours long. I thought that all this hype was about like an 18-minute fan film.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize it's like a full feature-length movie.
Yeah.
Which is kind of insane.
Now, I've seen like a lot of people like kind of just shitting on it, and I don't know if that's just because like, of was it the director or the producer?
Dude, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Well, all the like the racist stuff.
Yeah,
that was the director, and that was like a year ago. Now though, like apparently, like the star is like I don't want to speak out of turn, but I mean this movie's like a shit show. It's not even a real movie, but like this movie, and I don't want to say it's not even a real movie, like to take away from people that like worked on it, but like it's not a real movie. You know what I mean? But like I don't know. People are like, yeah, this guy Warden Wayne. Apparently, he's like. No bueno.
Oh, okay.
Me as well type stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
She said. Yeah. Apparently not good. I don't know. Not a good look for anybody involved. But also apparently, and again, my friend Alex, he's a I wouldn't say he is a cinematographer, but he works on productions and everything, and his main thing is cinematography and being a camera operator and everything like that. And like he said, he scrubbed through it and watched a bunch of stuff, and he's like, and at the end of the day, it just doesn't look very good. Mm-hmm. Like it just doesn't look very like, and obviously story wise and like dialogue wise, there's go all over Twitter. There's like,
I saw somebody tweet was
stuff.
like, oh man, he threw this line in here thinking he was about to get a call from Kevin Feige or something like that. I was like, oh my god.
Like,
yeah, I'm definitely not gonna watch it, but I've seen the thing.
For 2 hours.
The thing I've seen the most is somebody like people like will, I don't know if it's like the acting or whatever, but then people will post like a fan film that looks like it was from like the 80s or whatever it is, and it's like Spider-Man is like beating the shit out of Green Goblin, and he's like yelling. Everybody's like, "This is the emotion that this fucking movie thought it was like portraying."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, I've seen that clip where he spoiler alert for a fan film. I've seen that clip where he kills Green Goblin at the end, and it's like, what is happening? Like,
I said, did you see?
And then there's the clips. Did you see anything from? No, I haven't seen that.
Okay.
But have you seen anything from that Superman Solar movie?
No.
There's like also this like Superman fan film that's out there who also apparently the creator is like a racist or something.
Oh.
And it's called Superman Solar, and it just like, oh boy, does it look rough.
This looks animated.
Yeah, there you go. No, it's not.
Oh.
It is not.
Andrew List?
Yeah.
Maybe? Huh. No, I didn't hear. I never heard about this.
This one's like, I don't know.
Oh, it's only 30 minutes though.
Yeah, it's not a feature like the other one. But yeah, that's the one that like the one that went viral on that was like they like compared it to like the Homelander thing, because he's like it's like Superman trying to talk this guy off the ledge, and he's like, if that's true, and you really think there's no saving you, then I'll step aside and watch you fall off this rooftop. And it's like, have you ever seen anything with Superman in it ever? Like, what are you talking about?
Where the Shocker was, he was like shooting like electricity out of his gloves, and it was like Spider-Man. He was like pulling the enemies like into it, and everybody was like,
he's just murdering people?
Yeah, he's like, why would Spider-Man
I did see a tweet about that was like, why is he just murdering these people in this clip? Like, wow.
Oh my god.
But yeah, like, and I agree. I mean, it's like, I think the budget was like $75,000, and like, that doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a lot. Like, like, my friend was like, it should not look like this for $75,000.
I did see like the part.
It's simple stuff like the lighting is just shitty. For 2 hours?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Again, it's... And I hate to be, like, kind of that... Like, obviously people are shitting on it, one, just because of the whole kind of, racist thing and all that stuff. But at the same time, I'm also kind of like, it is a fan film.
No, absolutely.
In all fairness, like, it's not like
there's a huge difference between me... Because I was saying to my friend Alex, I was like, there's this shot of, I think it's like a Honda Civic or something. There's like a CGI car.
Yeah.
And it's
I saw that.
And it's like,
that was like a car commercial.
Yeah, like it just doesn't look that great. And to me, I'm like, you can't bash the movie on that when it's like a CGI car. But to me, it's like a setup shot of two actors where you just can't even see their faces because the lighting person just isn't doing lighting.
Yeah.
Like, what? There's no excuse for that on whatever size movie it is. It's like, you gotta be able to light your scene.
Yeah.
If you're having people pay to, or they're not paying to see it. Obviously, you can't do that for a fan film. But like, I don't know. Just very, very weird.
Yeah. Okay. Last thing. What about Haunted Mansion? Did you see Haunted Mansion?
That's the other one that I couldn't think of.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you did see it.
No.
Oh, you didn't see it.
No, I was saying that was the one in the list of things I gotta get caught up on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because again, I think that trailer looked like a lot of fun. But who knows? I don't know. Apparently, Lakeith Stanfield, was eulogizing his wife and did a Baskin Robbins, product placement at the same time. All right, guys.
That's it.
That's it. We went exactly 2 hours and 1 minute now. But thank you guys so much for joining us. Let us know. Were you able to hear everything? If I can speak, were you able to hear everything? Were you able to see everything? Hopefully the quality's better for you. Hopefully it's looking a little bit better. And we are going to be doing this from here on out. So thank you guys for joining us. There's possibility that we might be doing something for at least the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka, because we'll both still be in town for that. And then after that, it'll probably just me doing the solo quick reviews up on the channel. But because there is the 2 episode premiere, we probably can make time to do something for to talk about that before we take a break. But yeah, let us know what you guys thought about the show. Let us know about anything that we talked about in the show or anything like that in the comments down below. And while you're down there, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this video with a movie fan or an entertainment fan or podcast fan, whatever you want to do. That will do it for me. I've been one of your hosts, Sean Monk.
I've been your other host, TJ Cornwall. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on all social medias, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok.